all this freedom is in our songs.
I'm Joe Lindsley, American in Ukraine since the pandemic, founder of Ukrainian Freedom News, and here we are talking to you from the beautiful Carpathian Mountains, a place that has seen many wars before, has seen many great movements of resistance, tucked away in the snow, in your beautiful retreat here. And I think we'll all leave this place with some great energy to say how we keep going in this fight for victory, and to help us better define what exactly is at stake. One of the best organizers in Ukraine.
Coffee for you. Do you need some sugar?
No thanks.
My name is Irina Bilan. I'm a grant manager at Mistecki Arsenal, a National Art and Culture Museum complex in Kyiv, as well as volunteer at charity fund Group 35.
I'm Olga Sukhan, architect and creator of this space in mountains MC6. And also one of my passions, it's eco-building materials and eco-architecture and connecting people.
My name is Yevhen Filyak. I'm a former scientist and founder of small IT company, software development company, and co-founder of the charity fund which helps the defenders of Ukraine. And my biggest, feature is that I try to find people who are good and who are smarter than me, and to join them together. Yeah.
I know so many of the Americans that have come here to help, or even government officials, who were very sad when they were forced to leave in January. But they can come back here and they say they feel happier here than back in America, because
it's so touchy.
And it's because here the mission is clear.
Sorry.
I mean, it's beautiful. I agree. And I know people who hate when they have to leave here, because they say even in wartime people are happier here, and part of it's a solidarity, part of it's a common purpose. But it is this. I hope maybe that America can, we can all learn how to make our democracy stronger through this extreme test here. But could you see if you can come up with a no more than one sentence definition of what civil society is? Because we hear that word, but I think Ukrainians know civil society better than anyone. And I think the West has a
We had to,
You had to choice. You were forced into it. In 2014 and now especially. How could you describe to people what is a genuine civil society? In one sentence, if possible.
Trust. If you have trust, at least through some group of people, it gives you ability to unite and to do something. The second is, this feeling that I can change something. So Ukrainians have this feeling that yes, we can. So I think that two of these things are the biggest influences, and maybe the third is, if there is the threat from outside, it stimulates us to develop. It's like did you ever read Duna book? Dune, this which
I need to. I've many friends who have, but
the movie.
I've seen it. Yeah.
So it's based on the book. And there is a group of people who lived in the desert for a couple of thousands of years, and they had to develop certain abilities. Like it is like Ukrainians. We were occupied for so many years. We resisted for so many centuries that we had to develop this ability of civil society. Something like that.
Trust, the ability to believe that you can change things, that you have agency, and then circumstances that force you to, you can't ignore these problems. Any other additions to that definition?
One more, it's loving and knowing our traditions.
knowing and
allowing.
And okay, we saw a lot of that last night because here we are in this very modern space and discussing a very pressing problem, existential threat to everyone's lives here and livelihoods. And yet you took time to have music and traditional dancing.
To have time for this.
And why in wartime? Why did you feel it was important to take that moment to be connected to your culture?
To remember about this and what we will have after when everything will end. We still is with this culture, with these traditions, with these dances, and to share further these traditions.
You know, I think of last night reminded me last Christmas in Ukraine, January 7th, and I went to home with some friends in Stry, mispronounced it, Stry, near Lviv.
Oh, okay, Stry.
And there are many families with a lot of well-known Lviv musicians, and so we went caroling from house to house. In every house you have an elaborate hospitality spread of food and drink and singing songs, and it's such a great ritual that, you know, especially when people cross the ocean to America, after a couple of generations you start to lose these anciently developed rituals. And that, you know, it just seemed like a sad thing, but now I realize why these rituals matter. They get you through the dark winter, but like I think back to those days of Christmas in January here in Ukraine, in the darkest moments of the war.
No.
Just as I'll think back to last night, you know, these are the things that give you energy and strength to say we can look forward to this.
Some warmness inside, and to keep, because all this freedom is in our songs. All this our way of life is embroidered in our culture. So.
Embroidered, like as you embroider your shirts.
And not only in shirts, so it is like everywhere. So that's why we keep it, because it gives us ability to remember who we are. Like, you know, only in the last century we have the front line of different wars moved through our cities. I don't know how many times, 20 times. So we know what is the war. So, and we still keep this culture. So, and this keeps us remember to who we are.
And the civil society was able to step in for the time, like few months, for example, at the very beginning, in order to help and provide for those needs that the government could not provide. So it's about more this unity or uniting of the civil society in Ukraine was because we had these common values.
And 300 years of the resistance.
Is the idea of freedom inherent to the idea of being Ukrainian?
I think it's ingrained in our blood.
Yeah. So it's like freedom and dignity.
Thank you for introducing Ukraine on your social media pages. That's very important that much more people can get more information about the situation here and how everybody can help Ukraine to stay stronger and to save all the world.
Что он сказал?
Well, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?
Come on now. Oh, which side are you on?
На чьей ты стороне?